Let's be honest, few things are more confusing than when a man who once seemed obsessed with you suddenly pulls back. One day he's texting you good morning, making plans, complimenting you, and the next, it's like you don't exist. This isn't just a modern dating phenomenon. It's rooted in deeper psychological patterns that go back centuries. Psychologists have studied this pursuit then retreat behavior for decades. According to research in attachment theory and Carl Jung's concepts of anima and animus, our unconscious drives and fears often dictate how we show affection and how quickly we withdraw it. Studies from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology show that the thrill of pursuit triggers the same neural pathways as addiction. When the reward no longer feels novel or the internal fears kick in, the behavior drops sharply. Today we're going to talk about why men suddenly stop chasing the woman they were once so attracted to. These reasons are not always about you being not enough. In fact, many times it's about his inner world, his fears, and the dynamics between masculine and feminine energy. Understanding this will help you navigate relationships with more clarity and confidence. Stay until the end of the video, because the last point might shock you. It's the one few people talk about, but it explains a huge percentage of this behavior. And along the way, we'll break down these reasons, connect them to Jungian psychology, and look at a famous story that mirrors this dynamic perfectly. 1. The thrill of the chase fades. At the start of a romantic interaction, especially in dating cultures today, the pursuit triggers a kind of neurological high. Dopamine, the anticipation chemical, spikes when we're working towards something we want but don't yet have. Carl Jung spoke of archetypes like the hunter and the hero that live deep within the male psyche. In the early stages of attraction, a man's unconscious hunter wakes up, texting, calling, planning dates, trying to impress. But when the dynamic becomes predictable, he senses your affection is secure, the reward system changes. The pursuit feels complete, and the adrenaline drops. This doesn't necessarily mean he stopped liking you. It may simply mean the thrill of uncertainty is over, and he hasn't yet learned how to shift from adrenaline-based excitement to oxytocin-based bonding. Many men confuse the two states. If a man has never practiced emotional intimacy, he may interpret the shift as boredom or lost attraction, when in reality it's just his brain chemistry recalibrating. 2. Fear of vulnerability. Vulnerability is a paradox. We all crave intimacy, but intimacy means being seen, flaws and all. Men, in particular, are socialized to suppress vulnerability. When they start catching real feelings, a subconscious fear can arise. If she truly knows me, she could hurt me. This is classic attachment theory at work. Men with an avoidant or dismissive style often pull back precisely when emotional closeness peaks. Research published in the Personality and Social Psychology Review found that avoidant individuals experience heightened stress responses when intimacy deepens. That stress can look like withdrawing, picking fights, or ghosting. This is not about you being too much, but about his nervous system being flooded. Understanding this helps you stop personalizing his retreat and instead recognize the pattern. 3. A clash between his persona and his shadow. Carl Jung's concept of the persona and the shadow explains this dynamic beautifully. The persona is the polished public self, confident, flirty, charming. The shadow holds the parts of himself he hides, insecurities, fears, unmet childhood needs. In the early stages of attraction, the persona dominates. It's the version of him you first meet. But as intimacy deepens, the shadow starts to peek out. If he hasn't confronted his shadow, he may feel shame or fear when it surfaces. For example, a man might enjoy being the confident pursuer, but secretly worry he's not good enough, not successful enough, or not emotionally capable. When these insecurities rise, his instinct is to retreat, to protect his ego from being found out. It's like pulling back from the spotlight when you're afraid of being seen backstage. This explains why some men seem to do a personality flip after the initial honeymoon phase. 4. The illusion of idealization breaks. Attraction often begins with projection. Jung called this the projection of the anima or animus, our inner opposite-gendered energy that we cast onto someone else. When a man meets you, he may project his ideal partner image onto you. Perfect, nurturing, exciting. This fuels intense pursuit because he's chasing an ideal, not yet the real you. But inevitably, reality sets in. He starts to notice your boundaries, your habits, your independence. For a mature man, this is where love deepens, because now he sees you clearly. For an immature or inexperienced man, this is where he panics. The collapse of projection feels like a loss of magic, and instead of leaning in, he pulls away. Understanding this can help you recognize that early intensity is often about him, his imagination, his fantasies, not your actual connection yet. 5. He feels he's already won. Some men approach dating as a conquest. They enjoy the chase because it mirrors achievement, like winning a game or closing a deal. Once they feel they've secured your affection, the competitive drive evaporates. This isn't about you being less desirable. It's about him being more invested in winning than maintaining. Social research from the archives of sexual behavior highlights that men with high conquest orientation show steep declines in attention after sexual intimacy or clear commitment. They were more excited by novelty and less motivated by maintenance. This is also why you see some men pour effort into dating, but put minimal effort into relationships. It's a skill gap, not a value judgment about you. Look at the myth of Paris and Helen. Paris risked everything to pursue Helen of Troy, igniting a legendary war. But once he won her, myth and history describe his courage waning, his attention straying, his heroism fading. This mirrors the timeless pattern of conquest energy without commitment energy. It's not about Helen losing value. It's about Paris's archetype, a pursuer who had never practiced sustaining love. 6. External pressures and stress. Sometimes his withdrawal isn't about you at all. Work stress, financial pressures, health concerns, or family obligations can lead a man to shut down emotionally. This is especially true for men raised to solve problems alone, rather than seek emotional support. Under stress, many men go into cave mode. They retreat, focus inward, and become less emotionally available. Women, conversely, often cope with stress by seeking connection, which creates a painful mismatch. You reach out, he pulls in. You interpret it as rejection. He interprets it as being overwhelmed. Knowing this difference allows you to step back and let him regulate, rather than pressing for closeness at the exact moment he's least able to give it. 7. The last point that might shock you. Internalized shame or low self-worth. Here's the one almost no one talks about. Many men stop chasing not because you're not special, but because deep down, they don't feel worthy of you. This is rooted in what Jung called the inferior function, the part of us that feels weak or shameful, the part we try to hide. If a man believes, even unconsciously, that you're too good for him, more successful, more attractive, more emotionally balanced, he may sabotage the connection rather than risk eventual rejection. This self-protective mechanism creates the illusion that he lost interest when in reality, he was overwhelmed by self-doubt. Modern research on self-esteem and dating supports this. Studies show people with lower self-worth are more likely to withdraw from relationships they actually value because they assume it's only a matter of time before they're abandoned. Understanding this dynamic frees you from self-blame. His retreat can be a mirror of his own inner conflict, not your inadequacy. Relationships are not just about sparks. They're about psychological readiness, self-awareness, and emotional maturity. When a man stops chasing you, it's rarely a reflection of your worth and almost always a reflection of his inner world. Seeing these patterns for what they are allows you to navigate dating with calm clarity rather than panic or self-doubt. If this video helped you, please click like and subscribe to the channel for more insights like this. Share this video with a friend who might be going through the same experience. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever had someone pull away just as things were getting serious? How did you handle it? Your story could help someone else watching this right now. Thank you for spending time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.